This will change your photography forever. For the better, I must add. And it's a bit of a multi-part situation here, so stick with me. The punchline is good. And it goes like this. You go to Paris, you've got your camera ready, you get to the Eiffel Tower, you look at it, you take a look around, you survey the scene, and you see about 3,000 people pointing cameras at the exact same thing. Now your camera might be sharper, might be higher resolution, you might have a banging dynamic range, but let's be honest, when it's on Instagram, it's going to look the same as everyone else's smartphone photos. So why bother? And this is the conundrum I found myself in. I got there, and I put my camera away. I didn't take any pictures of it because I've seen them all. I know what the Eiffel Tower looks like. It's one of the most photographed landmarks in Europe. I don't need another photograph of it. And the other way this kind of works, and this is a different approach to it, but it's the same problem. I get people in my one-to-ones with portfolio reviews going, I really need a splash shot. I really need a bottle pour shot. I really need an Easter egg shot. Like this need for a specific photograph because they've seen other people have got it. Now the problem with this is, as I'm sure you're aware, if you do these things, you end up part of the noise. The noise being those millions of photographs uploaded every day to the internet. And the reason photographers get so angry and so cranky and so disenfranchised is because during this period, they just go, well, what's the point? My work just gets no likes, no love, no whatever you want to get from your work. It just blends into everyone else's. And yeah, it does. It really does. It's just generic work. And I see a lot of portfolios that are sent to me and it's like, great, you've mastered exposure, you've mastered lighting, you've mastered composition, and you've mastered making your work look like everybody else's. You've done a great job of replicating every photograph I've ever seen. With food photographers, I get sent these bodies of work and I'm like, yeah, great. It looks like Jamie Oliver magazine from 10 years ago. Brilliant. Well done. That looks like everybody else. I get portraits, portfolio reviews coming in. I look at those. I'm like, brilliant. It looks like Instagram. It looks like when I scroll through Instagram, like, so what? Well done. You've managed to copy everybody else. That's great. These people don't stand a chance in their career. Now, of course, it's not to say they don't stand a chance ever. If they change, they do. But if they carry on that path, they're not going anywhere fast. They're not getting anywhere. So what is the answer to this? How do we take photographs that matter? How do we take photographs that stand out? It comes down to something I rant and rave about all the time. And it's style, it's niche, and I'm introducing something else I've not been saying that much, and it's voice. And voice is important. So let's first of all differentiate style and niche. Now your niche is the area in which you work in. I work in still life. I have a niche within still life. You might be a portrait photographer, a headshot photographer, whatever it is. It's kind of a genre almost, very similar. Now your style is something different. Your style is how you portray that niche. So your niche is the big bit. Your style is how you paint it. So like lots of people might paint landscapes, but it'll have different styles. The niche would be a landscape, the style this. I mean, these are semantics. It doesn't really matter. You can call them whatever you want. But that's how I see it. And I think it's, if you understand what I see, then at least you can name it whatever you want, but at least we're on the same page. Now your voice is what matters. Now I'm going to pop a link below to my website, my commercial one, not my YouTube website. So you can read my about section. I'm not going to read it out here because I always feel a bit silly because I had to have someone else write it for me because I get a little bit insecure about talking about myself like that. But it explains my voice. It explains what it is I'm trying to say within my style to my niche. And for example, it explains that I come from the 90s as a child, and it explains that I grew up in a particularly working class environment, and the way that I see the world, the way that my opinion on the world comes from. And that is my voice. That is how I portray it towards my style into my niche. And they all overlap as well. Your style can become your niche and your voice can become your niche when it's so well cemented. So, for example, my style is I'm a bold and graphic photographer. My niche is still life, predominantly food, but we're venturing at the moment. But my voice, it's childlike. It is playful. It's nostalgic. It's 90s. The colours I choose in my shots, it's not by chance I choose the colours I do. They're colours from my childhood. And the food I choose, often when I'm not commissioned for it, and if it's just personal work, is food from my childhood. We've just shot a project called An Ode to Jam. And the whole project is about jam. So I remember if we were like particularly skint, jam tarts would be the pudding of the week because you just need a cheap jar of jam or often homemade jam and some pastry. It's a nice, easy fix. Jam on toast is what I was told to go and eat if I was still hungry after dinner. Go and have some bread and butter. And obviously I'd steal the jam as well because why not? But these things, they're part of who I am and it all portrays along. Now, by having this, instead of me going, I need a picture of a jam tart, that's not what I think. And this is the really important bit here. Instead of going, I need a picture of a jam tart, what I see is, I want to show what jam meant to me as a child. I want to do a project that really shows off jam in the way that I saw it. The style I'm going to shoot it in is bold and graphic, and the niche is food photography. So I'm creating work in a style from my voice, from my perspective, and that's one of the reasons my work does well. Because when I then turn up to a meeting, which I'm doing in a couple of days' time, I go in with my portfolio, and when I'm talking about it, it's sincere. And I think this is where a lot of people have got confused over the years, because they're talking about, sincere work or, original work or personal. It has to come from you. And in order for it to come from you, you need to do a lot of soul searching. You need to do a lot of deep diving into who you are as a person. And it's something you can't fix quickly. It's something you can't pay me to help you fix. I can help guide you with questions for sure, but I can't tell you what your inner voice is. And you need to be clear on that. Like, it took me 10 years to find my inner voice. Before that, for sure, I took good photographs. I shot some big campaigns. I got a lot of money. I did some cool pictures, but it's not the work I do today. The work I do today, I'm proud of, and it looks like my work because it's authentic. And that is such a word I hate to use, authenticity, because it's like the buzzword of podcasts at the moment. But it has to be that way. Now, the exercise you need to do, if you're not sure what your voice is to start to really look inward. Get your pen and paper out and start to go, well, what is it I like in life? Who am I in life? What are my values? Where do I come from? Where am I going to? It doesn't have to just be your background that is your voice. It can be where you're heading to. It can be where you are right now. It can be many, many things. There's no right or wrong answer. But once you find it and you find a style bred out of it and you have a niche, that is the recipe to be successful as a photographer. If you've enjoyed this video, do hit subscribe and like. Thank you for making it to the end. I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.